Have you ever realised that the children that you're trying to teach are actually the ones teaching you? My name's Amir, and if you've been here before, you'll know that I've got three boys, two of whom are neurodivergent. I've got Zach, he's 10, he's pre-verbal autistic, and Jacob, he's 9, he's got ADHD, and me, I've got autism and ADHD, so my house is basically like a group chat with no mute button. I went into parenting thinking that I was going to be the guide, the fixer, the rule setter, but I had no idea just how much my kids would teach me about patience, about love, about authenticity, and about myself. You see, I thought parenting was about shaping them, but it turns out they've been shaping me all along. You see, somewhere between lost socks and loud meltdowns, I stopped being just a parent and started to become a person that I actually recognise. You see, for some people, parenting is about teaching their kids, but for me, it's been the most intense crash course in learning about myself that I could ever have asked for. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 lessons that I've learned about myself from my children. Because what I've learned from my kids about myself might just be exactly what you need to hear. So if you're a parent drowning in chaos, second guessing everything and wondering if you're doing it right, you're in the right place. And as always, this isn't a parenting manual. Think of it more like a therapy session with snacks. But before I get into the lessons that I'm going to share with you today, there's one fundamental shift that I want to talk to you about. And this is key to parenting all children, not just those with additional mental health challenges. You see, the moment I stopped trying to raise the perfect child and started trying to be the person that they actually needed, well, that changed everything. That one shift moved my whole landscape. Not overnight, not all at once, and not neatly, but enough to notice, and more importantly, enough to breathe. Let me tell you a story about a day that I lost it. We're getting ready for school in the morning, and Zach is refusing to put his socks on. Jacob is providing live commentary like he's trying to narrate for a documentary or something. And me, I'm 20 minutes late for work, and out of the blue, I snap, I slam cupboards, and I huff. Major tantrum from me. And then I catch my reflection in the microwave. I'm red-faced and I'm sweating like I've just run a marathon in jeans, completely unrecognisable. And right there I realised that I'm expecting emotional regulation from an autistic 10-year-old, yet I'm having an adult-level man-baby meltdown over a lost sock. Classic. And here's the painful truth. That wasn't the only time. There's been moments where I've been under pressure from work, or times where I've been trying to have a conversation on the telephone with my family or with my mum, and I've got annoyed with my boys for being them. And that's hard to admit out loud, especially to a camera. I thought that as a dad, I was raising my kids. However, it transpires that they've been raising me. So let's get into our lessons. Lesson number 1, I learned that calm is a skill. It's not a default. I thought that calm was a personality trait. I thought that it was something that people who did yoga had. Well, it transpires my kids taught me that calm is a choice. It's a muscle. It's something you have to train daily. The Child Mind Institute says that co-regulation, our ability to stay calm while our kids are having a meltdown, is a superpower for helping neurodivergent children. So now when I feel the volcano bubbling, I try to pause. I try to take a deep breath. I lower my tone and I try not to sound like a hostage negotiator. And they notice, they mirror. It's clunky, but it works. And I end up recovering faster too. Instead of having a grumpy day, I chalk it down as a dad win and smile. And they're watching that and learning. Lesson number 2, I realised just how much I masked. You see, I realised I was autistic later on in life, which meant that I spent 40 odd years being whoever I thought people needed me to be. I simply didn't realise just how much I had learned to perform until I saw my kids being unapologetically themselves. No filter, no pretending. You see, my Zach, he flaps and stims with joy, doesn't care who's watching. And Jacob, well, he's brutally honest. He'll tell you what he thinks you need to hear before you're ready to hear it. I mean, he once told his teacher that she had the energy of an uncharged iPad. Meanwhile, I'm triple editing text messages that I'm sending to my friends, wondering if the thanks that I'm writing sounds passive aggressive. They showed me what real authenticity looks like, not the Instagram kind, but the beautiful, messy kind. And honestly, watching them has made me braver in my own friendships. It's made me braver at work. It's made me braver at marriage, less performance and more presence. Lesson number 3, I learned that connection isn't always verbal. I spent years trying to get Zach to call me daddy. In fact, I chased that word like it was a finish line. And then one day, my Zach, silent as ever, just came up and sat beside me on the sofa and leaned his head on my chest. And that was it. That moment, there was no bells and whistles, there was no soundtrack, but that quiet moment, it said more than words ever could. And I then realised that he had been saying it all along, just not in the way that I had expected. You see, 93% of communication is non-verbal, and that number sticks with me now, because that moment changed everything. It changed how I parent and it changed how I listen. Now I hear more by talking less. I try to pay attention to body language, to energy, to tone, not just with my kids, but with everyone. And that's helped me a lot at work, because quite often it's what people don't say which has the most clue. Lesson number 4, I learned that patience is more about acceptance than time. You see, it's not just about waiting, it's about how you wait. I always thought patience meant waiting politely, but it actually means waiting without resentment. No sighs, no muttering, no frustration, no eye rolls, just being with them at their speed, at their pace, on their timeline, which, to be fair, is the slowest known to mankind. It's hard, but it's honest. Lesson number 5, I learned that parenting is self-development in disguise. You want personal growth? Raise neurodivergent children. Raise kids that will challenge every expectation you've ever had. You'll learn your triggers, you'll learn what breaks you, you'll learn your fears, but you'll also discover your fight, you'll discover your strength, you'll discover your compassion. You'll discover your ability to laugh when one of your children throws jam at your last clean shirt. You see, they're not the only ones growing. So are you. And this doesn't just stop at parenting, it changes how I show up as a husband, as a colleague, and as a friend. You see, my kids have taught me more inner work than any self-development book ever could. Have you ever seen the TV show Ted Lasso? It's about a clueless American coach who tries to coach a football team in the UK, and he is wildly unqualified and he walks into chaos, but he's got this smile which is just too big for the room, and everyone underestimates him. He's just too positive, he's too naive. But what makes him powerful isn't control, it's not his certainty, it's his curiosity. You see, little by little he listens and learns and transforms, not by being the smartest, but by being the most willing to grow. And that's parenting, especially our kind of parenting. This journey we're on is not about being experts in our children, it's about us being willing to be students of them. Lesson number 6, I learned that love looks a lot more different than I thought it would. You see, forget hugs and I love yous. Love is a shared YouTube video. It's a toy dinosaur placed next to you. It's a sock thrown at your head. Once you stop chasing the expected, you start noticing the real. It's everywhere. You've just got to see it. I know that once I stopped craving what I thought love should look like, I started noticing that it was all around me. You see, here's a twist. I did actually think that my kids needed me to be an expert, but what they really needed was me to be willing to grow and learn alongside them. You see, my kids didn't just teach me about them, they taught me about me. They taught me about my autism, they taught me about my masking, they taught me about my emotional stamina, or lack of. Simply put, they taught me more than any therapy session ever could. And that is a gift that I wouldn't trade for anything. So if you've ever sat in the car exhausted after a play date wondering if you're doing it right, you're not alone, you're already growing. So what's the one thing that your kids have taught you? Drop it in the comments and let's make this a place where reflection isn't cringy, it's normal, where honesty isn't awkward, it's welcome. And if you're just starting this journey, here's the truth. You'll mess up, you'll grow, you'll laugh. Sometimes you'll even end up having a cry in a biscuit aisle at Tesco. But most importantly, you will learn exactly who you are, just like I did. And if this hit home, there's a seat at the table for you. You don't have to subscribe, just be here. But if you do subscribe, you'll officially become part of the Biscuit Aisle Cry crew. Welcome aboard. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.